Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mandy's Musings. Today, while analyzing the journey of Scout Finch throughout Harper Lee's classic novel To Kill a Mockingbird, we will explore the familiar transition from girlhood to womanhood and its power dynamics. Let us begin. Self-discovery, the process of acquiring insight into one's own character and beliefs. So prominent is this theme that it deserves its own genre of literature. The Bildungsroman is a novel dealing with someone's formative years or spiritual education. Think The Catcher in the Rye, Jane Eyre, Great Expectations, Little Women, Swan's Way, and my childhood favorite, To Kill a Mockingbird. Through these novels, authors transmit their most important values to readers, especially young ones experiencing these changes each day. And that feeling of acceptance and belonging mitigates the awkwardness and sorrow that comes with youthful experimentation. Scout Finch's journey throughout To Kill a Mockingbird encompasses racism, gender norms, and mob mentality, and she's exposed to them in a brutal and transformative context. Though she remains true to her hoydenish character, she endures the criticism of Aunt Alexandra, the conservatism of Calpurnia, and the injustice of Tom Robinson's trial, replacing her carelessness and youthful naivete with a personal and societal agenda. We're first introduced to Scout as the story's narrator, somewhat mature and retrospective, which Harper Lee intended to contrast her early confrontations with injustice. Scout is fundamentally a playmate of her brother Jem, running around Maycomb in overalls and always searching for the next adventure. Naturally, one of them would come to be her transition to womanhood. But Scout never associated the change with the forced abandonment of her childhood habits, and she resists that notion when it's imposed by her infamous new guardian. Aunt Alexandra scorned Scout because she wasn't supposed to be doing things that required pants, but rather should be a ray of sunshine in her father's lonely life. To which Scout replies that one could be a ray of sunshine in pants just as well. Scout's all-male environment is unsurprisingly the reason for her wardrobe and lifestyle choices. Unacquainted with the behavior of a woman beyond Calpurnia, who was characterized by her race and economic status rather than her gender, Scout is at the mercy of Atticus's guidance. So, when he asks her to dismiss Alexandra's criticism, she resumes a careless, optimistic mentality and apparently erases the incident from her memory. However, after an unexpected statement from the primary female figure in her life, Scout finds herself struggling to understand what a lady truly embodies, and begins to question her naive remarks. As the children prepare to attend church with Calpurnia, Scout is forced to trade in her comfortable breeches for fancy dress, discovering to her surprise that feminine attire is associated with a proper upbringing. She complains of Calpurnia. "She made me wear a petticoat and wrapped a pink sash tightly around my waist," explaining that she did not want anybody saying that she didn't take care of her children. Hearing such comments for the second time, Scout begins to fear the changes promised by the next phase of her life. The imposition of conformity in this otherwise mundane event upsets Scout more so than the dress. Despite her unwavering respect of Calpurnia, Scout denies that the presence of gender roles justifies their existence, and hearing that affirmation from such a strong role model introduces questions of integrity and autonomy in her young mind. These questions are answered towards the end of the novel, as Scout witnesses corruption from the county sheriff's office to the courthouse. Particularly, she's disappointed by the repression of female voices, as Atticus informs her that women can't serve on juries. She sputters, "You mean women in Alabama can't?" I was indignant. Miss Maudie on a jury would be impressive. Scout's innocence inhibits her from accepting the offhand hypocrisy of the adult world, as she refuses to validate social standards that contradict her interactions with the strong female figures in her life, such as Miss Maudie and Calpurnia. Then, Scout begins to understand the difference between womanhood and ladyhood. In Maycomb, being a lady meant leaving behind one's opinions and true character, and accepting that one was neither intelligent nor cultured enough to have independent beliefs. Disgruntled by the irrationality of her realization, Scout then comes to the conclusion that allowing conventional images to determine her fate will only harm her. And though it seems like her stance hasn't changed since the beginning, her positionality certainly has. Now, her thoughts are based on experience, and she advances them as an educated young woman, strong enough to rely on her own instinct and see the world beyond Atticus's interpretations. Scout realizes that comments like Aunt Alexandra's aren't to be dismissed, but rather corrected because they reinforce the gender hierarchy at the highest level, so she commits to being a better role model for women to come. 61 years after the book was written, this message continues to resonate with young girls and women who are objectified and expected to accept unequal wages and subordinate themselves to men. Each generation commits itself to the advancement of women's rights, but there continues to be pronounced resistance intra and internationally, and even intra and interpersonally. In this vicious cycle, it becomes easy to conform or to make excuses that belittle ordinary women, like our country is not ready for a female president. To that I ask, what determines readiness? And according to Scout, that is acculturation and dedication. Regardless of our gender, we cannot tire of advocating for the rights that women deserve, because as Scout wisely said, there's just one kind of folks. Folks. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and would like to help me produce more content, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Share with your friends too. And remember, today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Until next time.